Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting yet another episode off with a first for Yu-Gi-Oh! Sins, and that is a sin in the intro. Now this one was actually commented to me by Dazzling Dice, and the sin is that when it's showing everyone in a row, when it gets to Tristan, it actually shows him when he's possessed by Nesbit. And I think this is really weird, because why would they do this? Is this the only time when they thought Tristan looked threatening or something? And while I noticed that myself, I never actually pointed it out or thought to point it out. But since Dazzling Dice commented, I'm gonna go ahead and sin it now. So thanks for that, Dazzling Dice, man, and keep these viewer-submitted sins coming, everyone, because I love to read them. This episode begins with Yugi running through the same hallway that Misa ran through in the first opening to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind.
Does this tunnel ever end?
A Tem jump scare. Also, speaking of a Tem, what is he doing running alongside Yugi? He's a spirit. You'd think he'd be floating around like Astral, or at the very least just not be there and let the Millennium Puzzle be the mode of transport. Also, Noah doesn't bat a single eye at Yugi stopping to talk to seemingly nobody every 5 seconds. Personally, if I was Noah, I'd think I'd trapped a schizophrenic in my virtual world.
I have a destination in mind for you.
These things on the armrests are buttons? Noah's giant gorilla hands.
I've already chosen your dueling opponent.
Wait a second, what was that? Oh my goodness, apparently Joey murdered the suit of armor from last episode. Just look at the man, he's guilty, he's looking around to see if anyone else saw what he just did. And now his face is gonna be plastered all over the news, and the parents of that suit of armor are not gonna give up until this monster is brought to justice.
It's the Dark Magician Girl, remember? There was a Broadway play about this card. We saw it a few years ago.
According to a large portion of people's opinions on the virtual world arc, I feel like they would actually rather watch this spin-off of the Dark Magician Girl on Broadway than the actual arc itself. 4Kids back at it again, slapping on modesty shorts for the Dark Magician Girl as to not melt the poor children's eyes. Thanks, 4Kids. Also, Taya having a dream sequence inside a dream sequence, probably making Inception blush right now.
Say what? I guess I'm supposed to follow you?
Survival instincts, elemental hero, absolute zero. And I'll tell you why. Because Taya trusted a penguin that spawned in a freaking desert. Is that not suspicious to anybody? Glace of the Snow, thank you for pointing this one out, because I didn't consider it. I probably would have been like Taya and just follow this penguin to go get killed somewhere.
Hi there, I come in peace? Take me to your leader?
Taya is visibly upset that this group of normal penguins does not respond back.
Open your eyes and look around, will ya? You're surrounded by my penguin army.
Yes, because we all know how threatening penguins are. They waddle and can't even fly after you if you try to escape, so genius. Absolute genius from Grandmaster Crump here.
You know my name?
I know more than that, Taya Gardner. 5'5", size 6 sneaker. I've got all the numbers in my report.
Sure, he's the number guy, but out of all the big five, I feel Crump must have been the worst with women if he spoke to all of them like this. And according to my numbers, that's a 100% chance of getting hit. 10% to the balls, 20% to the face, and 70% for both. Evil laugh cliche.
Says here you've dueled 5 times in your life, which gives you a 1% chance of actually winning this duel. It also says you've eaten 216 slices of pizza.
Well, that number probably goes in the millions for me, but what are these numbers? I understand the number of times dueled, but how much pizza eaten? It just seems like a useless statistic like blood type in a horror game.
I need to know everything about you. That way, when I win this duel, I'll be ready to become you.
Apparently, Crump is okay returning to the world as a 16-year-old girl. Also, on a side note of Crump returning as Taya, it would actually be unwise from a business point of view. And I don't remember who said this. This was a viewer-submitted one, but it was taken down when my video got deleted by YouTube, so that's unfortunate. But they did mention that it would be unwise for Crump to body snatch Taya, since he'd be a woman in the business world. And I agree with that, and the workforce is already naturally disrespectful to women in general, so he really should have picked one of the guys to body snatch.
Good thing I've spent so many hours watching Yugi and Joey duel.
Oh yeah, she definitely learned from both Yugi and Joey, because she's got the over-the-top posing from Joey down pat.
It's time to duel, shorty!
Whereas Taya got her posing from Joey, she apparently got her catchphrases from Yugi, because she stole Yugi's catchphrase just then. Yugi has a coin that looks like every coin that is used to determine who goes first in a duel, despite never actually using it for that purpose ever.
I sense a whole new game has just begun.
Well, fortunately for you, you're the king of them.
I can activate the magic card, Cold Wave.
Snake, you're too late. Sorry, inner Metal Gear nerd coming out there, but true. It's just too bad you're too late, because you have to activate this thing at the start of your main phase, and that flew when you brought out the Sea Snake. And it wasn't only me that caught you on that one, boyo. I also got Dimension Duelist and Blader Smosh. Catching you on this one as well.
Your mind will be frozen stiff until the end of time.
Ugh! I don't like that look he gave the camera just before it faded to black. Just imagine how Taya must have felt. I'm a 25-year-old man and that made me freaking shiver.
We have to break out of here and find her!
In a place all but designed to kill you, Yugi is incredibly dumb for rushing recklessly at this door, because there could have been an instant vaporize you dead laser beam waiting for him behind that door for all he knew.
You should really dress more appropriately for the weather, dear.
Creepy old dude making comments about a young girl's appearance. Alright, guys, real talk. Can we just agree right now as a male species to just not let this penguin anywhere near our girlfriends, wives, daughters, mothers, and probably even grandmothers? I mean, I will gladly stop this video right now and teach you how to throw a liver shot just to deal with guys like Crump right now. Real talk. Real freaking talk.
Now then.
Crump is not only able to draw, but also hold his cards perfectly with flippers.
You forgot to devise a strategy when you were picking all your cards.
Crump's voice was turning into a really weird-sounding Mr. Krabs impression by the end of that sentence.
Picking all your cards. SpongeBob, me boy, you're picking your cards.
Hey, wait! My Deckmaster ability allows us to communicate mentally.
So, apparently in a world where Deckmasters can just reflect attacks, create crazy game-winning scenarios, or just passively boost your monsters, Taya's Deckmaster can just talk.
How do you like being frozen?
I absolutely love it. If you hadn't noticed, I'm a penguin, and we like things on the cool side.
Yeah, but so cold that ice is growing on you? Penguins still get cold. Why else do you think they huddle for warmth?
So to entertain myself, I would sit for hours and count things. Crumbs on the rug, dots on the wallpaper, whatever I could find.
Apparently Crump's life story is the same as the Count's.
An all-penguin theme park. So I brought my proposal to Seto Kaiba.
Please, don't waste my time. We're a gaming corporation, not a petting zoo. Look, Crump, stick to your calculator.
I mean, he's got a point. I even doubt this plan would have gone through with Gozaburo as the boss, because penguins already have little to do with duel monsters off fortiori military applications. And this is why we don't just see the Air Force randomly dropping a theme park dedicated to marsupials. It'd just be plain outlandish.
You just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. In the future, be more careful about who you hang around with.
Yeah, never trust a penguin. I mean, have you ever played Super Mario 64? Because that little is enough to turn you off of penguins forever, let alone virtual ones. Will you shut up? I'm trying to take you to your terrible mother who lost you, you little piece of Cliché de la risa malvada.
I wonder if these virtual berries have any taste.
Well, feel free to try. But I'm 90% sure that Master Noah must have put some tasty poison inside those berries too. Inside, this tiny log cabin is an enormous mansion.
It's our stepfather's old house.
Adoptive father. Oh good lord, it's Boomerang Jowls again. Oh my god, did this guy swallow a boomerang? Did you eat a football? Ugh, is that what I sounded like? I was like 19 back then and I sounded like some child. That's a 1,000,000 sins for me. On a side note, this guy here, whose name is actually Hobson, is actually a former torturer. Yeah, don't know how he got employed, but the bigger question is, how is a torturer gonna be the height of a 10-year-old? Homeschooling.
If a train from Boston is traveling at 180 miles per hour and a train from New York is traveling at the same...
Wake up!
Where was that question even heading?
But it seems young Seto was more concerned with the backs of his eyelids. Continue.
Also, that's what he sounds like? Gotta admit, I like it better than his generic raspy voice from Season 1, and also it fits the ex-torturer vibe. This dude is actually as smoothly sinister sounding as Alucard.
My boss has no patience for slackers.
What? I don't slack.
And thus begun Kaiba's hatred for the Slifer Slackers. And now we know why Gozaburo's wife is nowhere to be seen. Apparently they dined 50 feet away from each other.
I hear you're falling behind in your studies, so you'll no longer have the weekends off, starting immediately. Hobson! Confiscate Seto's toys immediately!
Goodness, the consequence for Kaiba falling asleep during his millionth hour of tutoring is not only having his free time revoked on weekends, but also having the games revoked. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was this 10-year-old, I would rather be dead. Glace of the Snow also rips into Gozaburo on this a lot as well. And you can see why, because this is all way too extra. And if you want my opinion, this is probably payback for Gozaburo losing to Seto at chess. And for all that, Glace wants to allocate 100 sins to Mr. Gozaburo Kaiba, and that's way too much, but I like it. Also, long table, fancy drapes, huge artwork on the wall, dining in an expensive robe. Gozaburo needs to just cut the middleman out already and just write Iron Rich Guy with a fountain pen on his forehead right now.
You have to learn that you can trust no one at all, including me!
Mokuba's face screams, why does this have to happen every single dinner?
Hey, back to bed.
That line, coming from this guy, is the stuff of nightmares.
If I see one more textbook, I think I'm gonna barf.
The exact words of every senior in high school.
Your next lessons in 1 hour.
In 1 hour, that is madness, because it is nighttime outside. I feel like not even Ivy League collegiate school students study this late.
A Blue Eyes White Dragon? Mokuba made me a Blue Eyes card. One day, I know I'll have the real thing in my deck.
Oh, that's very sweet. But not only do you end up with the real thing eventually, you also cause an entire generation to want to kick you in the balls by ripping up this old man's.
A good show by the Kaiba boys.
Sarcastic, slow clapping cliche.
What if they're like directions for us? Yeah, through the 1-star door first, then the 2, then the 3, then the 4.
Yes, and the reason you and I have been traveling around in circles is because we've only been choosing to battle against the monsters that have 1 star.
Kind of amazed that it took Yugi and Atem this long to figure out that the maze was looping. And thanks to Glace of the Snow for finding this one right, but seriously, you'd think the King of Games would be better than this.
I can't even feel my toes.
Advantage number 204 of being a penguin. We have thermo-insulated flipper feet.
What? So what are the other 203 advantages?
Oh, Prodigy, so naive. I will illuminate the others right now. 1, you're a penguin. 2, you're a penguin. 3, you're a penguin.
203 sins for me having to sit through this.
5, you're a penguin.
Flying penguin attack!
For some reason, Skalingle has a body? I guess it would have looked too weird if it was just a floating hands, belt, and wings. What the f*** is Skalingle?
You are a weird little bird, Crump.
That's saying the least. This guy is downright creepy. And all of my fans agree on this. And collectively, I'd say it's fair to give this creepy Crump 100 sins. This guy in the back is reading a book about Bruce Lee. Great, now he's got me remembering that one weirdo from the manga who was like a Bruce Lee wannabe. That guy was a douchebag. I'm glad that Joey got him with that rising uppercut at the end, though. Enter the dragon? More like enter the hospital.
I'm not done yet.
That noise sounded like Crump was about to vomit.
Magic formula! Raising my monster's attack points.
Magic formula is not able to be equipped on Mahavilo.
Attack his flying penguin with sacred lightning! Extra crispy fried penguin, anyone?
Huge misplay here caught by Dimension Duelist. The misplay, of course, being Taya not special summoning out the Dark Magician Girl for a follow-up direct attack to win the duel right here and now. We could have just been done with this duel, now we gotta endure Crump's creepiness for a couple more turns.
We need the 3-star door.
There it is.
Yes!
So Yugi can decide what cards to use, I guess? Unless if he's perfectly top-decking one after another, which I guess would be par for the course, honestly. But if he can just decide, just use Dark Magician or Summon Skull, or any of the other big monsters in your deck, and this trial is reduced to atoms.
There it is!
Patience, Yugi. You must be very careful. This door has been equipped with 5 cards.
To nobody's surprise, the final trial is against a Labyrinth main.
Defeating a 4-star monster plus 4 face-down cards is no easy task.
Raigeki and Heavy Storm have entered the chat.
This may do it.
No, you mustn't play Dark Magician yet.
Backseat dueling. I'm convinced that Flash Assailant is what we get when Aladdin smokes crack.
And summon Penguin Torpedo! It can attack your life points directly!
Well, she has no monsters on the field, so really anything can attack her directly right now.
These 2 cards won't help. I'm out of moves.
Wow. She looked at her empty hand, saw the graceful charity card, and said she's out of moves. This is not even the first time she's missed drawing cards. Even earlier, she had the Pot of Greed and didn't even use it. And speaking of that Pot of Greed, where did it even go? Did she eat it? Because it was in her hand earlier, now it's nowhere to be seen. Maybe the hypothermia got to her head and she thought it was a candy bar and just ate it.
Suddenly, I'm in the mood for a tall glass of Ice Taya!
Ice Taya.
Taya! If she loses this duel, she'll be trapped here. But it's not fair.
Little Yugi crying like a bitch for the 50th time.
The Sage's Stone magic card?
That's the card you need to draw.
It could be at the bottom of my deck for all I know.
Taya would be excellent at Yu-Gi-Oh! Sins.
What's going on?
Crump's reaction here is our collective reactions to the Deckmaster abilities that we're going to encounter this season.
I have formed a soul circle with the 4 monsters in your card graveyard. This allows you to draw 4 new cards.
Yeah, I guess who needs a draw 2 when you have this bullshit draw 4?
My Dark Magician! But how was he summoned?
By way of the power of bullshit, Yugi, the power of bullshit.
What?
Crump's reaction to Dark Magician.
The Sage's Stone magic card bestows upon me the unique ability to call forth the Dark Magician from any nearby player's deck.
What?
I am of a mind with Crump. What? Not from your deck. From a nearby player's deck. You gotta be freaking kidding me.
Dark magic attack!
And for some reason, this dark magic attack is pink. Taya the Undefeated claims yet another victim. Also, I love what Insane Mikaioshin has to say about this victory. The fact that Taya is the only character in the entire series that is undefeated. And that's the sin. This scene gives Taya and Yugi shippers something to awe at. Also, plot twist, Taya is crying right now because she's hugging Yugi and not a Tem.
Fools. They'll never escape my virtual universe. Never!
Oh, color me impressed. Noah not ending off an episode with an evil laugh cliche like the Big Five. Once and all for that.
Was rescued by a penguin. Yep, I'm talking to penguins. Mr. Penguin, could you swap twice if we're almost there? Planet of the Penguins!
You're surrounded by my penguin army. There's no one here but us penguins. And I'd say your number is up. I'm about to put the freeze on you. The name's Crump, former accountant of Kaiba Corp.
This is a penguin?
Yes, let's do a quick run through your numbers. A 100% chance that we're going to duel. You've dueled 5 times in your life, which gives you a 1% chance of actually winning. You've eaten 216 slices of pizza. A giant virtual penguin, my penguin brothers and sisters. My iceberg dueling field is about to leave you cold. The probability that you'll be victorious is slim to none. Nightmare Penguin, you fool! Once you're put on ice, I'll be free to waddle my way to the real world. We accountants are a cautious bunch. The numbers are there to support it. I'm more than 90% sure it's a trap. Get ready for quite a chilling ending. Got cold feet. Someone's got a case of the chills. I need to weigh the percentages before I make my decision. Then I'll wait for your meltdown.
So chill out.
Cold enough for ya? If you hadn't noticed, I'm a penguin.
I do have a question, Crump.
Where did I get my good looks from?
I want to know why you're so obsessed with penguins.
I would sit for hours and count things. I discovered a book about penguins and a mother and father penguin. From then on, my life revolved around my 2 loves, numbers and penguins. Chief accountant and number expert. An all-penguin theme park. The odds of you actually having a future are slim to none. Flying penguin! Penguin sword! Penguin! The freezing continues. Your life points are down almost 50%. You're out in the cold. Advantage number 204 of being a penguin. Flying penguin.
Flying penguin.
Flying penguin. A master in the art of number crunching. And best dressed penguin in the world.
Flying penguin.
You must have failed all of your math courses. Flying penguin.
Flying penguin. Extra crispy fried penguin, anyone?
Bolt penguin.
Bolt penguin.
Penguin torpedoes. It's quite chilling, isn't it? Penguin, penguin, I'm in the mood for a tall glass of iced tea. My calculations assured me that I would win this duel. This just doesn't add up at all.
Fatality. Sub-Zero wins.
With that intro, we have entered Season 3. And with that epic song and the new intro, we are starting this episode with 1 sin-off. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you, my friends. Thank you!
Surveillance sensors.
Enter Noah Kaiba. He doesn't mean much yet, but you know he earned the last name Kaiba by building this phony underwater Death Star he insists on throwing at our faces. Just saying, it's 2 seconds in and we already got some tech mumbo-jumbo. And if the Diet Coke Death Star wasn't enough, now we have this thing that wants to be Arsenal gear so bad.
At last, Seto. I'll finally reclaim everything you've stolen from me.
Cryptic villainy modes.
First, Merrick's servant Odeon took the fall when Merrick angered the Egyptian gods.
I have one here from Glace of the Snow who gives this one a sin for blame redirection, saying that it was Odeon who angered the gods and not Merrick. And I agree, it was Odeon who summoned the fake Ra and was subsequently smoked for it. If it was Merrick who angered them, it would have been Merrick who got blasted by Zeus's lightning bolt, yet it wasn't.
Merrick's gotta be stopped before...
Not only is this blimp experiencing turbulence, but it's almost as if there's a localized earthquake in the air for this blimp to be this shaky.
Hey, what was that? Wake up, guys!
They snipped out this scene from the sub where Joey attempts to wake up Duke and Tristan. And that sucks because 1, it's hilarious, and 2, what's the problem with this? It would make for so much more funny slapstick comedy involving this trio, which are fan favorites.